Hi guys, so I'm currently at my family home visiting my mum and dad, helping them out with a few things, and I'm doing a full body workout today. So I thought I'd take you along for the ride and show you my home gym that I created, a long time ago now, must be about 7 or 8 years ago now, just to run through the session with you, show you sort of my roots, where I started training. So let's go have a look. But first, obviously, get my intra workout ready. So I've got carbs, creatine, EAAs and glutamine in here. So here we have it, my home gym. So I built this, like I said, about 7 or 8 years ago, and I more or less added bits and pieces over the years. So I've basically got everything I need in here. I've got a squat rack, bench, dumbbell, stability ball, TRX, BOSU, barbell, skipping ropes, punch bag, med balls, bike, kettlebells, big mirror, step, all that kind of thing, a heater for the winter. And then I added in, actually last year, some little hooks to hang up straps and stuff like that. I've not been in here a while, so excuse the cobwebs. But yeah, so this is my home gym. I'm really blessed to have this, really lucky, but I also invested a lot of time and money into it. I painted it all myself, I put it all together myself. So lucky to have the space, but also I put the effort in for it. So if something is important to you and matters to you, then you find a way to make things work. So I'm obviously having sort of a deload this week. I was feeling pretty rough last week. So this week, coach just said just to do a few full bodies. So I'm going to run through full body today. I've got everything I need here. Haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do yet. Just throw in some bits and pieces, enjoy my session, and yeah, I'll take you along for it. Let's get some tunes. I usually have a speaker with me, but I forgot it. I left Derby at 5 o'clock this morning. But yeah, let's go. Always start with your mobility, kids, especially when you get to my age. I'm going to do a full body today, probably 2 to 3 sets of each exercise, 8 to 12 reps, general hypertrophy range, about 2 exercises per body part. So mainly sort of glute dominant in the leg department, and then upper body, mainly shoulders, just because that's what I need for bikini. But yeah, I'm just going to run through a bit of everything, do a bit of cardio at the end. So I hope you enjoy. Let us know if you've got a home gym, what you've got in it. Send me some pictures. I'd love to see. Obviously with a home gym, pretty handy because you can just come looking however you like. Not that I really care too much how I look in the gym anyway, but yeah, just can come in sliders, no socks, judgment free, and just feel comfortable doing whatever you want really. Appreciate the orange sliders. So always start your sessions with mobility warm up, activation if you need to, and then start with a compound lift. So I'm going to start with squats today. I've not done barbell squats for a while, so let's get to it. Get rid of the sliders. Going to be too puffy and bouncy. So when it comes to footwear in the gym, things like squats, deadlifts, all of that kind of thing, where you're stabilizing and pushing through the floor, it's best to have a really flat shoe or even train. I don't want to say barefoot like this. If you're in a public gym, at least wear socks, but something flat that allows you to connect to the ground. You can also get sort of barefoot shoes, quite good. You can get cheaper ones on Amazon or the Vivo barefoot ones, which are a little bit more pricey. So depending on your budget, if you're doing things like squats or deadlifts and a running trainer with a big wedge, that's going to throw you off balance, push you forward a little bit, and you're a bit further from the ground, so you can't connect to it the same. So just think about your footwear when you're training. I'm going to be doing a few kettlebell swings to activate my glutes as well, because glutes are important for what I need to do and present on stage. So yeah, always at the beginning of all my lower body sessions, I do some sort of glute activation. Usually I do abductors. You can do band work. I'm not a massive fan of band work, so I just do the abductor machine, or you can do things like kettlebell swings as well to target the glutes. Another warm-up set because I'm old and creaky. So today is just more of a move around for me, rather than sort of pushing the intensity too high, just to recover. I've also been really active this morning, out and about. It's 1 o'clock and I've done 14,000 steps already. Also, if you've got a home gym, I'd highly recommend investing in these clips rather than these annoying springy things. Just snap it on. And I'm not going to go too heavy today, just light, nice tempo, control. Just thinking about that mind-muscle connection really. Back to my normal training routine from Monday. So rest day tomorrow, recover, then back to work Monday. I actually really don't enjoy barbell squats, to be honest. I've got really long femurs and I feel like I get locked up in the hips, but hey, we do what we need to do. They're a really good exercise, great compound movement for building muscularity in the legs and the glutes. So if something works, you're gonna do it, even if you don't particularly enjoy them. Also good cardio, as you can tell. I also really struggle to breathe through my nose, so that doesn't help. Genetic. Oh my gosh, I'm only on one exercise. I've almost gone through half my water already. Let's go. Get these done with. Oh. Another benefit of home gym is you can just sing and dance. I'm not going to subject you to my singing, but you'll probably get subjected to my dancing. I'm basically a dad dancer, but hey, if you're confident enough to dance in public gyms, fair play to you. Last set, creaky old joints. Summertime love. I felt heavier than it needed to, but I'll take the depth. Next exercise, RDLs, a little bit more enjoyable in my opinion. The squats were pretty pathetic, to be fair. When you usually train at a good gym with lots of kit, like I do, Ultraflex, Jarby, I think it's the biggest Ultraflex, and obviously I'm spoiled for choice with kit. It can be quite easy to get lazy and just use machines. But to be honest, old school method of barbell and dumbbells is really effective. So don't use the fact you don't have access to kit as an excuse as to why you can't make gains or achieve your goals. All you need is very minimal kit. Resistance, you can get resistance from bands, dumbbells, barbells, or even just household objects. You can make it work, whatever way. Right, let's get on these RDLs. Whoa. I'm probably gonna have to strap up on these. I have the grip strength. I was gonna say the grip strength of a baby, but babies actually have really strong grip strengths. The grip strength of a, I don't know, something that doesn't have very good grip strength. Nice warm up set, time to strap up. And to use straps, why to use straps? If your grip strength's going. So obviously forearms tend to be a bit weaker than the rest of our bodies. So once our forearms get fatigued, makes gripping really quite challenging at times. And if you don't need to train your grip or your forearm strength, then just straps are a useful tool to add in so that you can pull more without that limiting factor. Obviously, they're a tool. You don't want to rely on them all the time. So obviously, I'll try and do as many sets as I can without the straps, just to work on strengthening that grip strength. But I don't need to train my forearms. When I get on stage, the judges aren't going to be looking at my forearms. They're not going to be testing my grip strength. I'd rather strap up, load heavier to target my hamstrings and glutes more. I don't know if it's anyone else or just me. When I first started using straps, it took me about 10 times to learn how to do them. I had to get so many people to help me out. But if it's your first time using them, I'm sure you pick it up quicker than I did. I'm not really paying attention to the weight today. As long as it's a challenge and I can feel the muscles, then we're all good. Like I said, we're not working max capacity today. Cool. When you're doing your RDLs, make sure your core is nice and tight. Keep the barbell nice and close and think about pushing your hips back. So hip hinge motion. You want to be feeling it in your hamstrings and your glutes. Careful that you don't get mixed up with a normal deadlift where you're going to be bending your knees a bit more and you're targeting the back muscles. Pull from the floor, more knee bend. RDLs, you start from the top. Think about reaching towards your toes, getting that stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. Very easy to get mixed up between the two. I've had deadlift in the name. That's a quick overview of the differences. Sorry, not sorry if my plate loading's giving you a bit of anxiety. I don't really care what way I load the plates, as long as it's even both sides. So if it goes small, big, small, whatever. I'm not the most aesthetically pleasing person in the world, but I don't care. If you get the job done, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, it is so warm today. I'm going to have to get some more water in a minute. Got about 55 on the bar. So not too bad of a weight, to be fair. Not too shabby. Last set. Oy, oy, oy. Lightweight. If Ronnie Coleman's not replaying in your head during your sessions, what are you even doing? And if you don't know, get to know. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. I'm gonna do glute bridges with a dumbbell at some point, but I want to do a single leg exercise now. Always good to incorporate, I'm so clumsy. Always good to incorporate a single leg or single arm unilateral exercise into your sessions, because it's always more dominant on one side than the other. It doesn't necessarily matter if you're right or you're left-handed. We want to address any imbalances. Obviously, if we're working both our arms or both our legs, it's very easy. For instance, let's take the example of our legs, to think we're pushing through both legs evenly, but actually using our more dominant side. So for me, that's my right side, using my dominant side a little bit more in squatting movements, hack squats, all of that kind of thing, without realizing it. You actually do incorporate unilateral exercises at first. You might notice a massive, massive difference in the strength between your right and your left side. It's normal, but ideally our muscles should be working evenly, either in pairs or from left to right. So doing single leg exercises means that we can develop equal strength both sides and even physique across your left and your right side as well. Today, I might do reverse lunges. Thought about Bulgarian split squats, but if anyone knows me, That's actually my nemesis, so I avoid those unless I really, really have to. So reverse lunges, I can step back and sit onto the glute a bit more. So yeah, we're gonna go for those today. Today is just about enjoying myself, and there's no enjoyment in Bulgarian split squats, so I'm not gonna do them. If you like Bulgarian split squats, you're probably a psychopath. On any knee flexion movements, make sure that your knee is not going over your toe, because you're going to be putting pressure on the knee joint. You want to actually be sitting and using the muscles you're trying to target, whether that be the quads or you're sitting back a little bit more and targeting the glutes, which I need to grow. Gosh, I'm melting. I like the heat, even for me. This is a little bit warm. For the first time in my life, I'm actually looking forward to autumn, like a crisp, fresh weather. Ay, ay, ay. I'm more quad dominant, as most females tend to be, and I'm also right-handed, so my right leg is the more dominant one. However, because my quad is dominant, my right glute is actually weaker than my left glute. So my right glute's feeling that a lot more because my left glute is stronger, even though my left leg isn't as strong as my right leg. Muscles should ideally work in pairs, nice and evenly. So your quads should be working as well as your hamstrings and your glutes. Just because of our lifestyles and how we live our lives, we tend to spend a lot of our time sitting down. Our hamstrings and our glutes and our posterior chain tends to be a little bit more underactive. So our anterior muscles, the muscles at the front, our chest, quads, all of that kind of thing, hip flexors tend to be quite tight and shortened. And the posterior muscles, so back, hamstrings, glutes, tend to be a little bit underactive, a little bit lengthened. So I always work through with my clients and focus on posterior chain to improve posture, improve that muscle balance from anterior to posterior, front to back, basically. Anyway, let's do another set because these are feeling nice.
Oh, these are very nice.
It's actually quite hard trying to talk and do a video whilst training, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, like, share and subscribe. That felt nice. Nice little burn. Should you feel the burn during your sessions? If you're getting a good mind and muscle connection, then yes. Obviously you don't want to be feeling any sharp stabbing pains or getting injury, but when your muscle's getting pumped and full of blood, you will get that sensation, especially as the lactic acid builds up. A lot of people, when they're new to training, they'll stop when it hurts or they feel that pain. There's a very big difference between pain from injury and pain from a lactic acid buildup or pain from the burn because your muscle's actually working. So obviously, to progressively overload, you're going to be feeling some sort of burn. Because the way muscle building actually works is that when you train, you create little micro tears in the muscle, and to build that muscle up again, you rest, recover, get your protein, your food in the building blocks, allow that time for the muscle to rebuild, and that's when your muscles get bigger and stronger. I'm gonna do those glute bridges now. So I really like doing hip thrusts with a dumbbell. Do obviously a warm-up set. You can add in bands Fun fact, I used to really struggle connecting to my glutes, and I used to have such a flat arse. Not that it's massive at the moment, but it's definitely grown. Sometimes you won't necessarily be able to connect to a muscle easy. It will just take time, practice, learning, activation. Bands can be great for this. So I'm gonna go grab a band and show you what I do. To be fair, I've gotten quite lazy with band and glute activation because I tend to use the machines these days. But activation wise, if you've got a glute band or just a glute band at home, you can do things like crab walks, so just little steps, okay? Keeping the gap between your feet. If you're gonna bring your feet together, it's taking the tension off the glutes. So keep that little gap between your feet. You can also do kickbacks, abductions, banded squats, all of that kind of thing. You can do a glute bridge and externally rotate the knees as well to activate the glute med as well. I'm going to take my band with me to do my dumbbell hip thrust, just because it's a little bit of a physical cue to keep the glutes active and involved. So what the band does, it's just that physical cue to keep your knees in line. Distance of the band trying to pull your knees in activates your glutes and your glute meds to keep the knees in line with your feet and your hips rather than collapsing in. So a glute band is a really good way to activate the glutes, keep that tension on them as you do the movement.
And it goes like this. We'll get in your car and you'll need.
So add in a dumbbell.
In your car and you'll need to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat.
If you're doing any hip thrusts or glute bridges, keep your chin tucked. Think about that pelvic tilt, tuck in your pelvis underneath. Squeeze the glutes at the top. You can make the movement harder by slowing things down, adding a pause at the top, or adding a little pulse as well. And you can do that with most exercises to make them more challenging. So tempo, pausing and pulses. Oh, lovely. Beautiful. So like we were saying earlier, in terms of unilateral exercises, if you've never done single leg glute bridges or hip thrusts, get to know them because they're really good, really challenging for the glutes. Don't need a lot of load for them. Often body weight is sufficient enough. Do you ever get halfway through your session and just contemplate life? Anyway, almost there. Oh dear. That's lower body done. Most girls, if I'm being stereotypical, prefer training lower body and glutes. That's not me. I've always preferred training upper body. When I first got into bodybuilding, I was very upper body dominant. I know it doesn't look that way now, but you can just imagine how tiny my legs were at the time. So I did work very hard for 2 years to grow them up. Now my upper body needs a little bit more work to balance with my lower frame, but I've always enjoyed training upper body a little bit more. Maybe that's because how I first got into training was boxing. Obviously you use your whole body in boxing. Power comes from the floor and that, but it helped develop my upper body quite a bit. You always tend to prefer what you're stronger in, but you know, you just got to do what you got to do. But anyway, that's the lower half of this session done. Let's do some upper and go back to the barbell. So we're gonna do barbell bent over rows. I do like single arm dumbbell rows, but if we're already doing a rowing movement with the barbell rows, there's no point in doing rows with the dumbbell as well. So obviously, if you're eliciting a good enough muscle stimulus, you don't need to be just overdoing your training. You want to be creating a good stimulus to stimulate muscle growth, but you've got to be smart with your dosages. So there's no point in doing a million different row variations, like doing a machine row, doing a barbell row, doing a dumbbell row, basically doing the same movement. If you're already training hard enough in one exercise, obviously different movements and different positions are going to target different areas of the back. I'm just going to do one back exercise today because my back's all right. My upper back needs work, but I'm going to do one back and then shoulders. My back's always been quite strong because I used to do a lot of deadlifts. That's probably my favourite move ever, but I've not done them for a long time now, just because I don't really strength train like that. I used to do a lot of powerlifting style training. Obviously now I'm training for bodybuilding aesthetics, so I don't really want to build too much of a wide back or anything like that, and I tend to do more isolation stuff now. Anyway, barbell row, my compound movement for the back, and then into shoulders. So barbell rows, you can do a prone grip, which is overhand, or supine, which is underhand. I prefer supine just because it's not as taxing on the grip strength again, but I'm gonna strap up anyway in a minute, so it's easier to strap up when you're prone, so I'm just gonna stick with that.
You dealing with the body of God, or you dealing with the boy? Is there? And if you hear this and then go and bend your back, go and bend your knees, baby, shake it to the max. Will the DJ please turn up the bass to the max? Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
So with your rows, you want a really nice full range of motion, get that nice stretch, and then any pulling movement, think about dragging with the elbow, so you're actually using and activating, targeting the back muscles, making them work rather than just pulling with the forearms and turning it into a bicep curl. But always make sure you've got that mind muscle connection and you're actually targeting and working the intended muscle group. With pulling movements, so targeting the back, it's very easy to use the biceps instead of just isolating the back. Likewise, with sort of pressing movements like shoulder presses or any shoulder movements, it's very easy for the traps to get involved and take over rather than isolating the shoulders. So think about what you're doing, connect to the right muscles. If you need to, go lighter. It's better to go lighter and target the intended muscle groups than just grow your biceps or grow your traps when you're trying to grow. Straps. I don't know where they've gone.
We could turn back time to the good old days.
So that's back done. Shoulders to finish. Probably my favourite to train, even though they're probably my weakest body part, to be fair. Obviously, when I'm a bit leaner, you can see them a bit more, but I'd like them to pop even on off season, so you know, we're working on it. I tend to do a light sort of warm-up round of lateral raises, front raises, and rear delt flies, just to, again, activate the shoulders, make sure they're nice and awake, my traps aren't taking over, because that's always been my biggest problem when training shoulders.
Okay, let's go.
Energy levels are not so good in the heat, man. Also, first day of my cycle today. Female fun. So, shoulders, I'm going to do all dumbbell stuff, to be fair. So, I will be doing dumbbell shoulder presses, dumbbell lateral raises, and dumbbell reverse flies to create well-capped, rounded boulder shoulders. So if you want nice rounded shoulders, target the front, the side, and the back. So anterior, lateral, posterior, if you want to get fancy about it. Front, back, side. I'm so bad at driving these, but I'm also so bad at driving in general. If you ever see me on the road, I'd recommend staying well clear. Female drivers, hey? Hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing that. Two more exercises. Let's go. Everything is feeling heavy today. But that's just female hormones for you. Just listen to your body. Your body doesn't actually know how heavy the weight is that you're lifting. It just knows the stimulus. So you can provide an equally good stimulus with a lightweight performing with nice, slow, intentional reps as you can with a heavy load. So just adapt and overcome. Progress. Consistency is king. Just try your best and you'll be golden. Whoa. Especially on movements like shoulder presses, where the muscle can get fatigued quite quickly. I often quite like to do a little back off set. So even if I feel like I can't do another set at my top set weight, I might do a back off set if I feel I've got a little bit more in the tank. So I'm gonna do a back off set for shoulder press. What I'm gonna do is do some partials as well, just to finish off. So 5 full range of motion. And then 5 partials halfway up. And 5 partials from the top halfway down. Oh. And then 5 full range to finish. And then the last set, as slow as you can on the way down on the eccentric lengthening phase. Give it a go. Let's move on to lateral raises. Lateral raises. Think about dragging your pinky out to the corner of the room. Core nice and tight. And again, lateral raises is an excellent exercise to do partials on as well. So I'll show you in my next set. So you do as many reps as you can with the full range of motion, and then do almost sort of little penguin wings, little partials, just to really burn those shoulders out. I'm going to do partials on the next set, and then I'll do a drop set for my last set on these. Let's go. Let's go. So as you can see, partials at the end there. One more set on these. Let's make it a drop set. And then we're gonna do rear delts. Let's go. Last set. Rear delts to finish. Looking forward to my Cocoa Pops now. Bulking season, I'm still hungry. This girl has an appetite. All right guys, so that's my session done. Hope you enjoyed, learned a bit of something. Let me know what more you want to see on my YouTube channel. I also now have a podcast, the Grind and Thrive podcast. A couple of episodes out now, plenty more to come. Like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, Craiger_performance_PT, and now subscribe to my podcast as well.